Hello and good afternoon to everyone. I am Bhasha Anjaria, lecturer at IT department in Parul University. Today we have a webinar on the topic website designing using PHP and HTML, and that is to be delivered by Professor Rashmika Madam from RC Technical College, Ahmedabad. Madam carries a wide experience of 12 years in the field of academics, as well as the main subject of Madam is data mining, as well as website designing and the programming language. Madam is pursuing his PhD degree. So now I am welcoming Madam Rashmika Madam on behalf of Parul University to start the session. Please, Madam, continue with the session.
Okay. Thank you, Bhasha Madam, and thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to giving the webinar in the Parul University. Today I will deliver the webinar on website designing using PHP and HTML. So let's start our webinar. Now, before understanding the website designing, first we have to understand what is the website. Okay, so website is what? So websites are collection of related web pages. Just a minute. Bhasha Madam, now is it okay?
Yes, Madam.
Okay. So before starting the website designing, first we have to understand what is the website. So websites are collections of related web pages. So what we are doing, we are combining the web pages in one website in the form of website. That web pages may contain the text, audios or videos. And how can we access the website? So for that we require the URL. What we are doing, we are typing the browser, or we are requesting the web server that we want to access this website. For that we have to remember that URL of that website. So to develop a website, we have to develop the web pages. Okay. Now websites can be separated into two different types. Okay, the website may be a static website or a dynamic website. So what is the meaning of static website and the dynamic website? So static website contains the fixed content. Means what? The client, every client can request the website, and in the response the client gets the same content. Okay. While in case of dynamic website, based on the client request or the client action, we are getting the different result. So in static website, every time, suppose if 100 users are accessing that website, then they are getting the same things. If we want to change, if we want to make any change in static website, then we have to change directly in the coding section. Okay, we can't change the website or the content of website runtime. While in case of dynamic website, in runtime, based on the client action, we can get the different responses. Okay. Now the static websites are fixed, as I told you, and display the same content for every user. Okay. So that is, the static website is usually written in HTML form. Okay, we are using the HTML, that means hypertext markup language, for developing the static website. While dynamic website is one that can display different content for different user. So based on the user's action or the client actions, it displays the different content. It is compared to static website, it is interactive. Okay, and for that we required some advanced programming language with the HTML language. So HTML is not enough for developing the dynamic website. We required some more languages, for example Ajax, PHP. Okay, by using that ASP, by using you can develop the dynamic website. Now, importance of static website. So, static websites can be developed in short time span. Okay, no any dynamic content is there, only fixed content is there. So, we can develop that website in short time span. The static websites are economical. That means what? If we develop the website in short time span, so economically it is not costly. Okay, the delivery speed of the web server is fast. When any user is requesting that website, then the delivery speed of the static website is very fast. Static websites are simple in structure. Okay, because the contents are fixed, so no any modifications are required. So the structure of the static website is fixed. Okay, so it is also take less time to take the server to client. Now, importance of dynamic website. The dynamic designs are integrated with high-end programming. As I told you, the HTML is not enough for dynamic website. Okay, so we required server side scripting language with HTML for designing the dynamic website. These designs are easier to maintain, even they have information and graphics. The dynamic websites are also the audio, video and graphics are also present in dynamic website. This website sets advanced graphic which lend an attractive look to a website. The dynamic websites provide a good presentations of contents, designs and tabs that gives a professional look to a website. Okay, so if we are developing the dynamic website, then it look like so good. It contains so many tables, designs and the look is professional. Now, suppose today I am giving one example of static website and as well as the dynamic website. Suppose we want to develop one registration form. Okay, by static designing form. Okay, we are designing one static form and we are designing one dynamic form. So for that we requires the form controls. Okay, so in HTML so many form elements are that we can use for developing a registration form, or we can say the form. So whenever you are going to design a page which can accept information from users through various input field. Okay, so we want to give some input. Okay, user will give some input. For that we have to provide some controls, so by which we can provide that thing to the user. So for that the form can contain the input elements like text field, text area, checkbox, radio buttons, drop down lists and submit buttons, etc. So forms are used to pass the data to a server, but when we are designing a static website, at that time we can't give that data to the server. Okay, we are just filling that data and after submitting, no any processing is done by that website in case of static website. Now suppose creating this form. Okay, we are just creating a simple form. Okay, by using the HTML. So I have one example I am showing you. You can design your, or you can write the code of your web pages in Notepad. Okay, So I have this file, okay, or one web page. We can say the static web page in which we have written the code in. I have written the code in HTML, in which I have designed one form. Okay, for that the fields I have taken that the name and input type is text. Okay, the name is in the text form, so we have taken the input type is equals to text. Then for address we have taken text area, which has rows is equals to 5 and column is equals to 20. So when the output, or we can say the when the web page is displayed on the web browser, at that time we have one text area box which has 5 rows and 20 columns. Then this is for the password. In the case of password, we have to write the input type is equals to password. Then this 2Rs is for the radio button. Okay, in radio button we have given the label male and female. For that we have to provide the input type radio. Then we have given the checkbox, okay, and the submit button. Now after writing this code in Notepad, you have to save this code with the extension .html. And for to run this HTML code, you can run this code in your web browser. Or to run this file, you can directly double click your file, so it will be executed on your web browser. So okay, what we have given, or what we have given as a field in the form. So we have demanded for name, address, password, then 2 radio buttons are there, then checkbox are there, and 1 submit button is there. So in the form we are getting all these things: name, address, password, male, female, and 2 checkboxes are there. Now in this you can fill your data, okay, like this. Now when you are creating this password, at that time you have mentioned what the input type is password, so it will display like this. The password is not visible to anyone. Then select any radio button, then checkboxes. In checkboxes multiple selections are allowed. Now click on submit. Okay, now at the time of submit, the data will be cleared from the form, okay, but no any processing are done in the website. Just what we have entered the information and click the submit button, but no any processing is done by the website. So this is called a static website. Just it will display the content and no any further processing can be done by the static website. So for that, if we want to process this data, if we want to store this data in database, or if we want some other processing, for that we required some other programming, high level programming language, so we can develop the dynamic website. So this is the example of static website. I have given the output also. Okay. So we are getting the output like this. Now the other input elements are also there: text, hidden, password, then submit, checkbox, radio box. Okay. Now to develop, or if we want to process this data in some other page, then we have to require these 2 methods, that is get method and post method. The get and post specifies HTTP method will be used to send the form's content to the web server. So what we have to do, we at the time of form submission we have to send this data, form data, to the web server. So we can send this forms data by using the get method and the post method. So we can use get or post, any method. So once again this form is there. Okay. Now I will show you the example of dynamic website. Now to develop a dynamic website, as the server-side scripting language is required, so I have used PHP language. The PHP language is a server-side scripting language. So for that, for server-side scripting language, you require the server also to run that dynamic website. Now, to develop a dynamic website, what we have to change? Just a minute. Okay, so this is the first page of the website. The heading is what? The registration website. What we are making, we are preparing one, or we are making one registration website in which the form is there, and after submitting that form, the user or the client get the message that data successfully sent to the server, or this is the data. So for that, we have to use this form method. Now in form method, we are using the get method. I have already told you that we can use the get method or the post method to send the data to the web server. Now, what is the action? Action is what? The page or the file name in which we want to send this data, this form data. So we have to mention the form method as well as the action. In action, we have to mention the page or the web page or the PHP page. So we have written the name of that PHP page. Now in this, I have created one form which contains the name of the user, then email ID of the user, then password of the user, then mobile number, then date of birth, then again I have taken the radio button, then checkboxes. Okay, then this is the select name city is required. Here what we have given, the list box is given. From the list box, the user can select any city from the given list. So you can also provide the list box to the user. So from the list box, the user can select the particular value. Then for the address, we have given the text area and submit button. So when the user will click this submit button, what happened at that time? In case of dynamic website, when the user click the submit button, the page or the form will be submitted into the second page. The second page is what? or the second page is which we have written here in action. So all the details, all the datas are transferred to the second page. So when the user click the submit button, at that time the data is forwarded to the second page. In case of static website, we are not writing like this. Okay, the form in form tag, the action is not present as well as the method is not present. Here, the difference is what? We are mentioning that the form, the data will be sent by the method get method, and in the action we are mentioning the page where we are sending the data. Then what is the content of this second page? So what we are doing, we are sending our data into second page. So what we are doing in second page, now this is our PHP page. Okay, this tag mentions that this question mark and PHP, this tag mentions that this is a PHP code. So for that the server is required to execute this code. For that you can use the XAMPP server or RAM server, Apache server. So for this code or this server side scripting language, you require the web server. Okay, so after submitting that form, we are shifting or the data are transferred to the second page. Now in second page, what we have written, we are first checking if is set get button. That means what the is set function, what the is set function is doing is checking that the button is clicked or not. Okay, the button is clicked or not. If the button is set, then we are getting the data of the form. So what we are getting? We are getting by using the get method. So we have written what here? Get method. That's why we have written the $_get. So to get the full name, what we are doing? We are getting all the information of a form in this array. So from that array, we are getting the full name in the variable $x. Now in the PHP, the data type is not required. So we are not declaring any variables. Whenever you want any variable, at that time simply you can write the variable name by using this $sign. So $x is equals to $get full name. So from our first page, we are getting the full name in the variable x. Okay, then the echo statement, what the echo statement will do, it will type a message like full name, this is a label. So we are getting the message like full name, then dot is used to concat the messages. That means what? The break tag will print the message in new line. Then after that we are getting the message full name is equals to then $x. So whatever the content of x is there, we are getting that value of x by in this message by using this concatenation operation. Same way we are getting the email ID, then password, then mobile number, then date, okay, gender, then hobby. Now in hobby, what we have given? Now for hobby, we have given the input type checkboxes. Okay, so the person may have a one hobby or more than one hobby. He or she can click on one checkbox, or on the multiple checkboxes are also there. So to print the multiple hobbies, we have to use like this. Now for each loop is used to print an array. As we are familiar with the for loop, but in case of PHP we can use the for each loop also. So for each loop is used to print the value of array. So when multiple hobbies are there, for that we can use this for each. In this, $D as $key is equals to $value. So we are getting the values which is selected by the client or the user. Same way we are getting the city. Now this is the comment section. In PHP code you can give the comment like this. Then this is for the address, registration number. All these things are there in if section. That means what? If the button is clicked, is set, and if the button is clicked and all the datas are there, at that time the if conditions is true and we are getting all this information. If the button is not clicked and the informations are not present, then we are in the else section. So in else sections we are getting the message like button is not clicked. Now as I told you, okay, for the server side scripting language we required the web server. So for that we required any web server in our desktop or in our laptop. So I have this XAMPP server. Now to run this dynamic website, first you have to start this server. You can use any server, XAMPP server, WAMP server. Okay, so this is a XAMPP server. Now we have to start this server, Apache server. In this we have to click this start button. Okay. So now after starting this server, we can run our dynamic website. So for that we have to first of all we have to run which page? We have to run this first page. That page is contains our form. Now to run this first page, what we have to write in our web browser? So we have to write like this. https localhost first page .html. Now when you are developing a dynamic website, at that time, okay, whenever you are developing a dynamic website, you have to put all your pages in this htdocs. So in my laptop, the XAMPP server is already installed. Whenever you install this XAMPP server, it contains one folder, that is htdocs. So whatever the pages or the web pages you are developing, you have to put that pages in this htdocs. So my first page is also here, my second page is there. The first page extension is html, okay, because it contains the html text only. So my first page .html is there. Now my second page, which contains the php code, so the extension of that second page is what? .php. I have written the code in PHP language. So the extension of the second page is what? .php. So you have to put this first page as well as the second page in htdocs. And to execute or to run this website, you have to execute or run the first HTML page, and from that you can redirect to the second page, because we are submitting the form, or the what we are doing, we are submitting the form into second page. So in the web browser, what we are doing, we are executing like this. Whenever the server is on, at that time you can write like this: https localhost, means we are making our laptop as a server. So in local hosting, we are running or executing the first HTML page. So we are getting this registration website like this, in which all the fields what we have given in the form. Okay, so this is the heading and all the form elements are there. So we are getting the look like this, website look like this. Okay, then it is demanding for name. Suppose I am writing now email address, file number, then birth date, then radio button. Now in radio button you can select either male or female, so you can select any one option. Then in hobby you can select more than one option because the checkboxes are given. Then for the city, the list box is given. Okay, so you have to select the city from the given list. Suppose I am selecting like Ahmedabad. Then for the address, the text area is given. Now here what we are getting, the button with the label sign up. Okay, in static website we are getting submit button, and here sign up. Now why we are getting the label sign up? Because here we are giving the value sign up, so we are getting the message sign up here. Now in case of dynamic website, whenever I click this sign up button, the whole form or the content of the whole form will be submitted to the second page .php. So when I click on sign up button, okay, you can see in this URL my all the information, my forms informations is redirected into second page .php. Okay, in second page what I am doing, I am fetching all the form information, full name, email address, and echoing that information. That means printing again that information into the browser. So we are getting all the information what we have entered in the form. Okay, so this is the example of dynamic website. So as shown in the example, to deal or to handle the form, we can use the get method. Okay, but in get method, get appends indicated variable name and the value to the URL designated in the action attribute with a question mark separator. So whenever we are using the get method, we are getting this variable name okay. So these are the variable name. You can see here the full name and the value of that variable, that is full name is equals to a, then email id is equals to a@a, then the password is equals to 1233, then mobile number. So all the variable and the content of that variable is present in the URL when you are using the get method. Each item submitted via get method is accessed by the handler $_get array. So as I told you, we are getting all the form information or the content of all the field or the form elements we are getting in the get array. So in this PPT also, the form action is welcome.php and the method is get. So simple one example is given in which we are just entering the name and the age. Okay, and one OK button is given. After clicking this OK button in the URL, we are getting the URL like this. Name is equals to Sachin, whatever the name is entered by the user and the age of that user, and submit is equals to OK. Then whenever we click the submit button, we are getting the value of submit button is equals to OK. So after submitting, we are redirected to the welcome.php. In welcome.php, we have taken two elements in two form elements. So we are printing that two form element. So in this also welcome message is given and php echo $get then name. So we are just printing the name. In this code, the PHP is integrated with the HTML code. So whenever you integrate your PHP code with the HTML, you have to mention this tag less than the question mark and PHP. It shows that this is a PHP code. So for the PHP code, the web server is required to execute this code. So for the HTML, the web server is not required, or we can say it is not a server-side scripting language, so server is not required. So whenever you are writing or you are embedding the PHP code with the HTML code, you have to mention that this is the start of the PHP code and this is the end of the PHP code. So in this code, we have mentioned that this is a HTML code, and after that we have written one line in a or one statement in PHP language. So this code is executed by the server. Same way we are printing the or we are echoing the age of the user. So in the output or in the browser, after submitting this form, we are getting the message welcome Sachin and your age 30 years old. So in place of this 30 to print this 30, we have to write this PHP code. Now the another method for submitting the form is available, that is post method. The post method is preferred method for form submission. Now why this post method is preferable? So as I told you, in case of get method, we are getting all the values as well as the name of that variable in the URL. So anyone can see the variable and as well as the content of or the value of that variable. We can easily see it in the URL. So for that we can so that is not secure. So for security purpose we can use the post method. So the form data is included in the body of the form when it is forwarded to the processing agent, or we can say the web server. So no visible change to the URL will result according to the different data submitted. So whenever we are using the post method, the content of the variable or the name of the variable is not visible in the URL. That's why the post method is preferable. But when you are using this post method, at that time the name of that array or the handler is $_post array. So whenever you are writing the post method or we are using the post method, at that time all the values are present in the $_post array. So this is the example of post method. So again we have designed one form. The name of that form is form1. Now in case of post method, we have to write post in the method, and in action we are writing the or we are giving the PHP page name. So again we have designed one form which contains the name of the user. Two fields are there in the form. Only one field is there, that is username, and one submit button is there. But in this website we are using the post method. So this is our first page. Now when we are using this post method, the value of the variable or the form elements values are present in the post array. So we have to we can get that variable values in the from the $post array. So $name is equals to $_post and username. We have given one or we have taken one only one field. So we are getting the username from the $post and echoing that name on the output screen. So after executing this code, we are getting the message hello, welcome XYZ. So by using this post method, we can also develop a dynamic website which is more secure than the get method. Why? Because the data are not visible in the URL section, or anyone or the values are not present in the URL section. So the post method is secure. So we can use the post method for developing a dynamic website. Okay, so then in this example, we can also develop this website, or we can submit this page by post method. So for post method, we have to change in this first page. This is the first page in which we have to write the method is equals to post. Now in second page, what changes we have to make? So in place of get, we have to write post. Okay, so when we are using the post method, the value is present in the post array. Now once again I am executing or I am running this. Now for that we have to first run the first.html. Okay, then I am pressing the or I am clicking the button sign up. Why the button is not clicked? Just a moment. Okay, so the code is correct. I think somewhere change may be required. So by using this post method, you can also submit the form values to the second page or the second web page, and in that case you are not getting the message or the values in the URL like this. You are not getting the messages in the URL. Okay, in case of get method, the all the values are present in the URL. So if you are using this post method, then you are not getting these values in the URL. So this is the end of my presentation, in which I have given the introduction of the static and the dynamic website or web pages development in which you can then I have covered one example of static website and one example of, or we can say, the form designing by using the HTML and PHP. So we have developed one registration form and process that registration form in the second page. Okay, now if you have any question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the session. There are 2 to 3 questions from student side that I want to share with you. The first question is the dollar sign which we have used in PHP script. So, what is dollar, and is it compulsory in all the programs?
Yes, we have to write the dollar in case when we are using the PHP language. Actually, in PHP, data type is not required, so it will take data type according our value. So if we are storing the integer value, then it will automatically declare that variable with the data type integer.
Okay. Second question is there are rules to define a variable name in C language. So, is there any rule to define a variable in PHP also?
No, in C, what happened in C language? Okay, first we have to declare that variable, and after that you can use that variable in your program. But in case of PHP language, whenever you require, whenever you want the variable, at that line you can just write the name of that variable. No need of declaration in the above or in the header section. No any type of declaration is required in case of PHP.
Okay, ma'am. And the last question is echo same as the printf in C?
Please repeat the question.
Is echo same as printf in C?
Yes, the echo statement in the PHP language is same as our the echo statement is same as our printf statement in C language. Whenever you want to print any message, at that time you can use the echo. But for that you have to use the concatenation operation dot operator. So you can use the echo, okay, and in the echo you can write the string as well as the variable, but you have to use the concatenation operator, that is dot symbol.
Okay, ma'am.
Respected Rashmika ma'am, thank you very much for the wonderful session and the source of knowledge that we got from you. Today will help our students in future, and thus on behalf of IT department Parul University, I extend my sincere thanks to you ma'am.
Thank you very much for listening me and giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much to the Parul University as well as the computer department and the IT department, and the students are also.